taste.
What do we call that? What do we call it that does not have any kind of ingredients? We call it plain.
Plain?
Plain. Plain, it means sada. It means no ingredients or nothing.
Plain.
Yes, we call it plain. Like if you ask or if you order at Starbucks or any coffee shop, plain coffee, it just means a kind of coffee that is that has no cardamom, that has no cinnamon, that has no sugar. It's just plain black kind of coffee. But there are, of course, there are variations. Variations is what we call variations. These are kinds of coffee that everyone has different flavor. Some coffee is very expensive and they make it from elephants. I don't know if you know that or not. And some coffee is like not that quite expensive. They just make it from coffee beans. We call them coffee beans. But the one that they make it from elephants, first they make the elephant. Huh?
Which part of elephant? The elephant itself?
They give the elephant a big amount of coffee beans. The elephant eats it. And then there are certain enzymes in the stomach of the elephant that is secreted. And with that kind of combination with coffee beans, the elephant gives it back from the back door. And then they take it, they clean it, and they grind it. Grind it, يعني يطحنوه. And then they sell it. And I think it's around $1,000 for the kilogram or the pound.
Okay, I don't want that kind of coffee, of course.
Well, it's, I don't know.
That amount of money.
Now, see this article that is written by Bloomberg, which is very famous website. So world's priciest coffee is hand-picked from the elephant dung, and dung is the S-H-I-T. Which is crazy. And I met a friend of mine told me he tasted it and it was horrible. So they have the elephant eat it this way, and then they collect it and they clean it. And after that, they sift it and it looks like this. And then they sell it. And I don't know how much it is, to be honest, but it's very expensive. Guatemala elephant coffee. Vegan, suitable. Let me check the price of it. Oh, currently unavailable. Anyway, they sell it on Amazon. Oh my God. The cost per serving of the elephant coffee equals $50. Serving means 1 cup. $50.
The price of a meal. 2 meals.
Yeah, well, yeah. But people are crazy. Like they do crazy things like this kind of coffee. I would say just go with a normal kind of coffee. Tell me about your day. Let's move to talk about a little bit about your day and your week. What kind of things did you do this week? Well, in English, we say don't tell, show. And that means you need to show me a structure of how you started the process of making that, starting from the ideas, and then how you ended up giving birth to this video. how did you deliver this video in front of the audience? What was their perception? But if we go back to the beginning, to square number one, how did you start thinking about that? Why did you start thinking about it? What was the structure of that project? I would love to give me a structured detail. What was it? What was it talking about? What was the structure of that video? And why did you have the video in this structure?
Okay. The first thing that I thought about it, it was about to make something new.
Mhm.
No one do it, okay? And I don't know what to do at the first. So I begin to read and see a lot of videos about that kind of projects, and see people how do they do things, and a lot of shows about that. Women's and TEDx success, women talk about their helping other women. I saw a lot of videos, and when I finished that, the
So
idea
let's pause a second to talk about that part. You started watching a lot of TEDx videos. Why did you watch TEDx specifically, and what kind of benefit did you get from that? And how did you incorporate what you watched in TEDx in your projects?
Why special TEDx? Because the women who talk in TEDx, there is a lot of women that
talk English.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear that. I want to hear what they think about that, and what they do, and about the trip of their successful life, and what they saw in other women's. And by the way, I saw the English talks to learn English and learn how they talk in English.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I saw Arabic videos. I saw Arabic women in Egypt and other Arab countries, women that talk, not in TEDx only, but I find the talks in TEDx, maybe it's inspiring more than other videos.
Why is it inspiring?
Because I saw all the talks in TEDx. It's a trip or a talk about women that achieve something in her life and become someone who she wants to be, and that inspire me, actually. Okay. So after that, the video, the idea of video came to me. So I started to see how they make videos, that kind of videos, from different kinds of videos. I came with an idea that me and our colleague, the first thing that I did, I wrote the scenario, wrote it in Arabic and English, okay, and wrote it in Arabic and translated to English, because I want the video to have an subtitle in the for every Arabic talk we in the video. So I wrote the scenario, go to the Department of Media, and I gathered my colleague, and we started to do it with each other without camera. And we started to choose who said that sentence and who would say the other. Actually, there was must been to have 2 guys or 3, but there is one guy approved to help us and do it with us, and we started to shoot. Everyone took a small sentence. Every one of us shoot it and give it to the Department of Media to publish it in the social media on Facebook. That's it.
I have 3 questions about this meeting that you did. First question is, what was challenging about role play you played in that video? Role play هو الدور اللي أديتيه. I will ask you the question again. What was challenging about role play in that part? Don't give me a short answer.
I was challenging myself. It's the first time that I do that kind of thing. It's the first time that I shooting something and publish it on public. It was fearing for me that the people were laughing on me, and when I record myself, I hate my voice. I hear it like a frog.
Okay, it doesn't make sense. What you're saying doesn't make any sense, but
I hear it like that when I record myself, when I record a video or record my voice, I hear it like a frog voice. So I was afraid. I was challenging myself in every single thing in that video. I do it not only for that Department of Women Empowerment. I do it to across my fear, to across the lines, to do something new that I didn't do before, something that make me feel better and feel that's kind of feeling that I can do anything I want. I don't want to care about anyone's opinion after that. And I'm really on for that to you and my course in English. It's
my English course.
My English course.
English.
English.
No. English. The first word, by the way, I love when we stress pronunciation, so I don't get sad or upset or angry. This is my nature. I look angry, but I'm not angry. Deep inside me, I'm very happy. So don't take it as an offense. Don't take it as an insult. If you don't say the word correctly, that is fine. An English learner like you, I always practice. Sometimes I hear more than you hear. That's why I deliver what I hear to your ear so that we become equal. Keep that in mind. Okay?
Okay.
The first, let me rephrase that. The first most mispronounced word in English language by Iraqi people is the word English. English. Let me just raise my voice. English. 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 Now, I am screaming because the microphone is very sensitive. However, let me just go back. The word is English with no G. The G is very, very thin in the pronunciation of this word, which is good. So let me show you the sound wave. We call it the sound wave, so we can practice more. And I give myself a chance to be relaxed and give you the chance to listen. متفقين?
Okay.
Okay, give me 1 second. English. Okay, that's it. English. Now, let me show you the pronunciation here so you have an idea, and I'll put it in stereo mode so you can hear it clearly. And then there we go. Now, there's something interesting about this word. And it's not your fault. It is just the system of sound of Arabic language. In Arabic language, we rarely have 3 consonants, one after the other without a vowel. ماكو أصوات ساكنة 3 ثلاثية يعني متتابعة في اللغة الإنجليزية. That's why when we learn any word in English that has this consonant group, we call it cluster. We have a struggle to say it correctly, like the word close, my clothes, like the word strong, strong, like the word street. You often come across people saying sit, read. They add eh. They add eh. The word English is not exception here. So in English, we say English, 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 and sometimes English, English. But there's inga, 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 inga. So, and this is, if you look at the way, this is the sound. Now, it's going to be horrible because the sound that I'm making this part is just weird. Okay, so it's in English. So hear it again so we can perfect it. So there's not ing, there's inga, inga, inga. It's like something stuck in your throat. Ah, something is stuck in my throat. English. And it's very funny because when you enter a sound class or a sound workshop of any language, you often don't see people act normally. People will act in a crazy way because they are just trying to imitate the sound of the target language that is not normal in our sound system. So it becomes very different, but it's good. It just condition your mouth to speak better. So to this point, is everything clear?
Yes.
Then say the word. Don't be afraid. We're just practicing. If you don't say it the first time, maybe the 200 times you will say it correctly, because this is how we do things. When it comes to practicing English, it's not the first time that I expect the learner to just nail it. يعني, in the target. Not the first time, maybe the 200 times, maybe the 300 times. So it's very normal. Just be yourself. Say it again.
English.
Perfect.
English.
English, 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 English. This is how we practice it. Probably I've said it like 2,000, 3,000 times over this year. And that's how the only difference, I swear to God, the only difference between you and me is that I said this word more than you said it. So if you say them more than I say them, you will become better than me. The only difference between what you have and what I have in terms of language is the distance that I spend speaking or the period that I spent speaking and you did not speak. It's the time that I spent every day practicing and you didn't practice. It's the time that I spent reading and you didn't read. So if you want to become better, please follow the model. Like, you have to read more, you have to practice more, and you have to be open-minded to be criticized by people.
Yes.
To be under the scrutiny. I love this word, scrutiny. Scrutiny. Maybe you can check this word out sometime later. Now let's pause here for a second and go back to the point. My point was, you said that you start to realize that there's something different, keeping your confidence and your ability to hear your froggy voice.
Yes.
What was the reason, and how did you overcome? The word is overcome, more across. The word is overcome. It's a verb. And the past is overcame. How did you overcome this obstacle or this challenge or difficulty?
And try to make my reputation good and shiny in the other people mind. But I tried to do that, and I felt that video was the first step to overcome my fearing. It's not that gorgeous video, but I saw it very beautiful, and I was very happy I did it, because I told you that I was trying from everything related to recording myself, hearing, even in myself, hearing, I can't hear myself, record myself and hear myself. It was make me unhappy and unusual with my voice. But when I first, and everyone told me that it was good video, and even there is a people that make fun of it, and they didn't disturb me. Never. I was happy about it because I achieved something that I was dream with it, to do that kind of things without care about others.
No, well, I think the first thing that you have to do is to care about others, because this is something that is in the essence of your goal to make this video. But we would say we develop some sort of tolerance to people who say bad things about us. Tolerance. And this tolerance comes from the fact that we become happy with not making everybody happy, because we cannot do that. Like, no prophet in the world has ever been able to make everyone happy and agree with them. There was nobody, even angels were not able to make everyone believe in God. So making everybody happy is just infertile goal, probably. But what comes, the bottom line, as we say in English, the bottom line of this is that going through this journey of self-discovery, of understanding your weaknesses, where your weaknesses are, and spotting them, and keep keeping pressing hard on that element just to be able to figure out a way to treat it is just amazing thing. It's just amazing thing. And actually, you remind me of the librarian of Basra. It's a very famous. Have you heard of it?
No.
The librarian of Basra is a woman. She died, I think, 2 years ago. She got COVID and she died. But if the world is ready to give a Nobel Prize to a woman in 21st century, it would be the librarian of Basra. And she has amazing goal, and she's very famous in the West, but in Iraq, nobody talks about her for some reason. Let me tell you the story of the librarian of Basra through a story that is written for children. That is considered one of the best stories in the world in terms of children stories. Okay?
Yes.
And then I will link this to your self-confidence. Okay? Because I have an assignment for you to write 500 words that I will be back to. It's written here. So I'll be telling that to you in a second. But first of all, let's read the story of the librarian of Basra and see how we are connected with this story, okay?
Yes.
Perfect. So the story is written by Jeanette Winter. I have the story as a voice. You can check it out in YouTube. It's by my voice. And it's a true story. So Alia Muhammad Bekir is the librarian of Basra. By the way, she died, I think, 2 years ago during the beginning of COVID crisis in Iraq. She got COVID. She was not treated, and she passed away. A port city in the sand-swept country of Iraq. Her library is a meeting place for all who love books. They discuss matters of the world and matters of the spirit. Am I reading fast?
No.
Perfect. Until now, they talk only of war. Now, this story happened very lately. Alia worries that the fires of war will destroy the books, which are more precious to her than mountains of gold. The books are in every language. New books, ancient books, even a biography of Muhammad that is 700 years old. She asked the government for permission to move them to a safe place. He refuses. A governor. So Alia takes matters into her own hands. Secretly, she brings books home every night, filling her car late after work. The whispers of war grow louder. Government offices are moved into the library. Soldiers with guns wait on the roof. Alia waits and fears the worst. Then rumors become reality. War breaks out. War reaches Basra. The city is lit. Lit is the past of light, with a firestorm of bombs and gunfires. Alia watches as library workers, government workers, and soldiers abandon the library. Only Alia is left to protect the books. She calls over the library wall to her friend Anis Muhammad, who owns a restaurant in the other side. Can you help me save the books? I can use these curtains to wrap them. Here are crates from my shop. Can you use these sacks? The books must be saved. All through the night, Alia, Anis, his brother, and shopkeepers and neighbors take the books from the library shelves, pass them over the 7-foot wall, and hide them in Anis' restaurant. The books stay hidden as the war rages on. Then, 9 days later, a fire burns the library to the ground. But now the books are saved. So there are no books in the library. The next day, soldiers come to Anis' restaurant. Why do you have a gun? They ask. To protect my business, Anis replies. The soldiers, by the way, I'm not sure if his name is Anas or Anis, to be honest. The soldiers leave without searching inside. They do not know that the whole of the library is in my restaurant, thinks Anis. At last, the beast of war moves on. Alia knows that if the books are to be safe, they must be moved again while the city is quiet. So she hires a truck to bring all 30,000 books, 30,000 books to her house and to the houses of the friends. In Alia's house, books are everywhere, filling floors and cupboards and windows, leaving barely enough room for anything else. Alia waits. She waits for war to end. She waits and dreams of peace. She waits and dreams of a new library. But until then, the books are safe with the librarian of Basra. Now, to this point, that's the story of the librarian of Basra. I hope you liked it. Now, let's go back to the point here. How is this related or relatable to women empowerment? Like let's say, if you add this story, which is a story that 100 men would not be able to do during that time of 2003 of the war. Now, this story was written during the 2003 time. And how would you give this as an example of women empowerment? Don't give me a short answer, by the way, please.
Okay, I didn't get the question. What do you want me?
I want you to tell me,
Yes.
how is this example of Alia applicable to women empowerment? How do you tell women that you deserve to be equal by showing them this story of Alia?
It's interesting story, but and amazing. Actually, I didn't knew about this woman, and
now you know.
Okay, she's make me think about the goals of someone.
Mm-hmm.
But he should have goals or values for his life.
Of course.
All the story, and when you was telling that story, I was think of values of someone and how are the values of someone will change everything that he do and he act in his life, and what is the order list of his values. The values must be ordered in a list, of course. Like someone maybe put his values, his God, his family, his work, his career, his successful business, and so on. And when you was telling that story, I was thinking if that my values are good enough to to make my life important for me and for others, and to do something different. I really didn't think about women empowerment, but think about her values. How could a woman like that who live in Basra, other cities in Iraq, not like Baghdad, they difference from Baghdad. The people are not like us. Maybe we are liberated more from them, and we have more knowledge, more chances for knowledge and for live a comfort and free life, not like them. There is a strict maybe issues or something. My mom from Najaf, and when I visit Najaf, they live a different life.
Of course.
Not like us.
Of course.
So I admired her, and I think about myself, what I should have goals and values to live for it. If I have enough values to protect like her, and should I learn something from her?
When you mention the word values, this is kind of vague expression. Would you give me more details, like maybe tell me 3 or 4 values you live by and you want just to make them part of your slogan, part of your motto, part of your daily drive?
When you think about values, maybe the most values that we have, it's became from our families, from how did we raised, and what did they say to us, our parents and family and relatives.
Relatives.
Mm-hmm. But when someone becomes alone and think by him or herself, should put his or her values that he should live for them and sacrifice for his or her values. So I mentioned that we should order our values and list the values in a list.
Now, what kind of values are you talking about? I just need to understand, maybe that just to give me a better.
I mean the value is different from goals. The value, I don't mean the goals, I mean the values, that what is the most important thing to you ever, the most important thing that make you sacrifice of everything for it. Is it God, family, your health, your fitness, your career, your success? What is the most important value that you will sacrifice everything?
And for you, what is this value?
I can't tell you a list of values, but that's not true if I just tell you that, because if you order your value in a list and make maybe, for example, when we put your God and your family, or your God and your career second, your God first and your career second. For example, I said, if there is something in your career that God didn't accept it, and you will achieve a successful business in that career, you should refuse it. You should sacrifice for your values, and that's a difficult thing, not important for anyone. And not just saying that my value is God, family, fitness, health, and career. Not just saying that means it's true. I don't believe in that. I believe that your values will list it in order, and you will in your life, you will tested for that. You will have a test to sacrifice in some values, and the truth not in saying that, the truth in do that in your life, to make to make one value is a valuable and the other is not.
So how is this going in alignment? How is this going in the line of women empowerment? Do you touch the concept of values when you present women empowerment case or women empowerment theme to women you reach out to? Do you talk about values? Yes, if you talk about values, what values are you talking about, and why did you choose these values?
When we're talking about values, not all the time we can say, oh, the God said, and God don't want that and don't accept that. Maybe, and sometimes we should talk with people like they understand and how they feel, or in the local street, what is happening and what they said in that time, and what happening in social media, and what the people around you feel, and like you should talk with them in way that they accept what you're talking. So I can't talk about values like what I think, or what I know, or what I believe only. I should think about others, because my video or my talk is with others, not to me. So it's a difficult way to make something feel others comfortable what you say, and accept what you say. Not all the people, you can't make all the people pleasant, like you say, with your act and with your talk, but maybe most of them, they should understand you. You should. I try to talk in a simple way. I try to concentrate on some things that touch what women is suffering from nowadays, and I try to talk about things that we love, and every one of us, especially women, know, and in reality, not in imagination way. Did I talk enough?
No, you still need to give me more details about the second and third values. Now, all of this has been going around the first value. Now, how do you make women empowered, building on the values that you've just mentioned here, and probably showing them the case of Alia and how she became a hero of war?
Did you know that it's difficult to make a woman listen to another woman?
Why is that?
It's
That's
easy
interesting. Tell me
to a
more.
woman to hear a man easy. It's easy very much. It's different very much from listening to a woman and listening to a man. And I took that from not my experience only, from another hundreds of women. I ask them and I talk with them, from my relatives and my colleague, even in school, in university, in every time of my life, the women accept talk and ideas and thoughts from a man rather than women's.
Is that why women prefer to have male teachers, not female teachers, because they listen to males more?
Maybe that's one of that reason.
Well, that's interesting, because this is not the first time that happens to me. Well, and I don't know why, but most of people I work with in terms of education and training are women. Like I would say 70%. And this is not this year. Over the past years, most of people I train are women, and you are not the first one who tells me this, that it's really that reminds me of a saying in English. They say if you watch two men silent, that means they agree with each other. And if you watch two women silent, that means there is a war. Because this is not how women do things.
True. Yeah, that's really true. That's really true. I feel what can I say? When we was preparing for that event, and the second activity that I did it in for women empowerment 16 days. It's preparing a brochure and put an candy in it. I stick on a candy for with every brochure, because I know neither women or men read anything. So I put on a candy with it to hoping that they read something in that brochure. They was very happy with the candy, and when I was in the my directorate and was giving that brochure to people and colleague and employee in my directorate, they asked me for I have one candy only, give me another. They don't think about the brochure at all. So when we was preparing, and we and my colleagues, women, and we was talking about women and how they have violent, and the man and men, and what are they doing with their wives. someone told me that something interesting, and she was really have a faith with what she said. She told me that the woman is the enemy of other women.
That's interesting.
She and she shocked me, and I feel, how could I change that kind of mind?
Mindset. We call it mindset.
Mindset. How could I make different in that kind of thoughts and ideas and beliefs? And if the women themselves are believe in those freaky ideas.
I really don't. I mean, I've been in so many situations where it was really hard for me to change how people think. But it's really hard to change people's ideas unless you change their lifestyle or where they live. You have to extract them from the environment where they live and then take them to another country and have them live there, and then forget about the country that they're coming from for a while. And then maybe, I'm saying maybe, they change. But changing people in this country is really impossible, because growing up in this country is like building a software program in your mind. And in order for you to change the way people behave, you have to change the coding of the operating system in their mind. And in order to do that, you have to bring an updated system. And that's almost impossible because nothing is changing politically or socially or economically in this country that make people act differently. Most of what we see in reality in life is a reaction to what people undergo politically, socially, and psychologically in this country. Like the stress you see on people's faces, the amount of hate that they have for government, the way they treat and speak with each other in streets, the way they shop, the way they buy things, the way they do things. All of that is just a reflection of the kind of pressure that they go through. But everyone is coming from a different case. So I cannot say everyone is equal because everybody is different. Generally, it's really impossible to change people's ideas. Like, if that's why I stopped making people think that I am right or wrong. Whatever he thinks of me, he thinks of me. And whatever he thinks of me is his ideas towards me. It's not my ideas. So whatever kind of judgment he has, whatever kind of things he has in mind, it's his own ideas, not mine. And it's really hard. And it's really not obligation for me to change what people think of me.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, I'm done. What did you want to say?
You remember me when you're saying that you should move them to another country to change their mind. That remember me of my brother. I have 3 brothers.
Okay.
Just his father did, and he became in behalf of his father. without nothing, without any information, without any science, without anything that he know, and a lot of people that were following his father followed him. One of them was my brother. He was aggressive and very religious, that he don't let us to make a birthday or make a party or doing something. His wife is my cousin, and he did not let her to wear his hair ring. That's that the God don't accept that she wearing her ring. That's haram, and he didn't let her to go with us, even the near places in our local markets. Something happened that he traveled to Emirates, and he started to work there, and he and his family traveled with him. He became a different person. He make birthdays for his children. He make parties. His wife go here and there and go to the mall with his girl. His girl. He have a girl and a boy, and there is no restricted. Of course, the same clothes and scarf and everything of that, it's existing, but his mind, it's totally different now.
Has changed. His mindset has changed.
And he's
first 6 months, I got a call. After 6 months, around 6 to 8 months, I got a call from the Office of International Students Affairs. It's the office that is responsible to bring students from other countries to study at the university. And every university has this office. And the woman told me, there's an Iraqi guy who came from Iraq, and he doesn't speak one single word of English. And we are opening, and we want somebody to translate and help him relocate in the city to study and to start his master's degree program. He was chosen by the Iraqi government because he was top of the students in his college, not because of his English. So I went there, I found him and her sitting in front of a laptop, a computer, and they were opening a Google document, Google translation page, and he was typing in Arabic and she was reading what he was saying in English. And he saw me, he hugged me, he was very happy. I took him, we found him a place, he stayed. He started his master's degree in business administration, but he was very, not religious, but conservative. There's a difference. Conservative, muhafid, very conservative. He had his very special way of dressing. He dresses like an Iraqi formal official. Even when we go to beach to play volleyball, or to hang out, he dresses formally. And just to know the American culture, they don't like anything formal. They hate it. So once we invited him to play on the beach, and he came wearing a suit. And he raised his trousers to his knees and he started playing with us in his suit, which was really funny. He returned to his old model of of behavior. And that is just
that?
because, that is because he went back to the same place he came from. And once he got back, he started operating in the old system. He forgot everything about the new system he learned, about culture, about anything. It's just, so it just made me very sad that to see this model of a man, you know, wasting 3 or 4 years of his life to learn something new. And then when he returns back home, he's completely back to his default setting. Nothing has changed. So it was just very saddening to me to see that kind of, yeah. But another friend of mine was from Mosul, and he had the same issue. He was very religious man, but then later, not like in Iraq. Sometimes we used to be taken by our professor to a bar to discuss our papers. So they're very wise, and for every group, one will not drink if they drink wine, because that is going to be responsible for driving everybody back home safe. So there are rules. Nobody under the age of 18 should drink. People act very normally, even when they're drunk. They just start saying things back. But for a country as big as US, where there are more than 400 million people, it's really hard to control that, you know? So there's always exceptions to the rule. I have an assignment for you, Mesa. Thank you so much for this beautiful conversation we did tonight.
Thank you.
And I'm going to send you these documents. Please print them out as papers. I want you to feel free to read and discuss them with me in our next meeting. So part of what we are going to talk about, I'll be sending you 2 documents here. Well, let me just send you these 2 documents. So this is an article, maqala, about women empowerment. I want you to read and discuss it with me in our next meeting. Yes. There is no need to learn every single word in this article. I want you to read, because reading is one of the best elements of becoming a good English speaker. You need to read. So this is an obligation. You must read this article. You must finish it all. Consider it as a task. Read it completely. I noticed that we have some weaknesses in the present continuous. So print this out, read it carefully. I will discuss it with you in our next meeting. And you have a writing assignment. I will write it to you here. And the writing assignment is building on reading the article of women empowerment. Please, just to let you know something, these are grammar notes that I wrote to you and some other feedback. So building on these grammar notes, I am sending the document, the PDF documents here.
Okay.
So they are not random for everyone. For every document, it treats a single aspect of your grammar or vocabulary or writing. So based on these comments that I have collected, written about what you said while you were talking, we just fill in the gaps here. So please write 500 words to talk about the case of your project to empower. Okay, so that's the assignment. Building on reading the article of women empowerment, which is the one that I just sent you here. Yes. Please write 500 words to talk about the case of your project and what values it has regarding empowering women in Iraq. So nothing very specific. You just need to tell me exactly, again, as a written form, how you started this project and what values you have in this project. Tell me about how you overcame the confidence, how you started shooting, videoing yourself, not shooting yourself, videoing yourself, and how that changed the way of your confidence and how you can empower yourself to become a better speaker, maybe in English or in Arabic. So the Librarian of Basra for you to read in case you like that, but these are the 3 tasks that I have. The deadline is before our next meeting.
Okay.
Sounds good? Any comments?
No, it's amazing meeting.
Thank you, Mesa. It was great, actually, Wallah, to talk to you and give you a chance to speak up, raise your voice, practice English, learn about the Librarian of Basra, and tell me about your lovely project. By the way, I want to see the video. Is that possible?
No.
I can give you comments. I can give you comments on it for the next time you make another one. And I'm not going to say anything bad, of course. I always support you because this is...
No. But I look very fat in that video.
I mean, I really don't have any kind of judgment on people's sizes. I will just look for... Was it in Arabic or in English, by the way?
In Arabic.
Okay.
Subtitles in English.
Well, if you like, please share with me. If you think it's you're afraid of that, please don't share. In case I'm not gonna insist on you on that because this is something that has to do with your self-confidence, and
I'll send it to you, of course.
Great. I'll give you feedback on it if you like, maybe in terms of presentation or in terms of language. I am not professional in public speaking, but I can give you feedback on the way you say your things in English, and in case you like that.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome, my dear. Thank you so much. Say hi to Lulu. And sorry, I took you from him for an hour and a half to do a little bit of workshop. And say hi to him.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're more than welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Good night.
ربي يحفظكم. مع السلامة.